Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are at a residential oasis. I'm going to show you guys how we will do the maintenance, the cleaning, all of the chemical checks, brushing, vacuuming, things like that on a $1 million pool. Let's get into it. First thing I'm going to do today is get a test on my salt, get a test on my chemicals. This one has 2 body of waters. We are going to do it 2 different times here. So I'm basically just checking this right now to just kind of see where we're at before I go back and look at my chemical systems and match what my body of water is reading compared to what my chemical systems back here are reading. Same thing in my lazy river here. Now we'll go back to the equipment area back here. Gonna fire up my flow pumps for the lazy river here real quick. Just make sure those kick on. I'll go verify that after I check everything back here. Checking for any leaks with any of my equipment here. Everything looks good there. So now I'm gonna go to my controller and I'm gonna go into my pH. It's reading about what my dipstick read. Into my chlorinator, which is my salt cell. It's reading about what my dipstick said as well. So just confirming that those are reading properly. If they don't, then I need to look at maybe doing some cleaning on the probes or something along those lines. Next thing I'm gonna do is fire up all my pumps here, all my feature pumps. Okay, that's on our pool side. Now we've got our lazy river over here. Same thing, I'm just gonna fire up all the feature pumps that go with the lazy river. Verify my pH matches, which it does. Chlorinator matches as well. So now that I've got everything kind of fired up here, I'm again going to verify that there's nothing leaking on my pumps or any of my equipment. So a quick check around it. Check my filter pressures. Anything over 30, I'm gonna recommend a filter clean for the customers. Those all look good. I'll go out real quick, just make sure everything looks good and everything's functioning with all those features that we turned on. So deck jets and bubblers are working. I've got both of my slides have water coming down them. Got my waterfall working as well. As we can see, the misters are working. Make sure that the flow for the lazy river is flowing like it's supposed to. And it's also got some water features we'll confirm are working. River is moving, it is flowing. Water features are all working, misters are working. We should be good to go. We'll go back and turn all that off now that we've confirmed that it's all working. Last thing I'm gonna verify here is my heaters. Make sure all that my heaters fire like they're supposed to. That way, you know, customer wants to get in the pool, it's not cold for them. And then the last thing is checking all my chemical, my barrels for my acid feeder and my chlorine towers. So this pool has salt cells and chlorine towers. It's a large body of water. The salt cells can sometimes have some trouble keeping up when you're putting a lot of people in here. And as you can see, it's an oasis back here and they're getting a lot of people in here. So we added some chlorine towers as well to help supplement the salt cells. Just gonna wait, I turn my temperature up a little bit for the heater. I'll wait, it'll kick on, it'll fire, and then I'll just shut that back off like I did with all the feature pumps. What happens, your blower's gonna turn on, and then once you ignite and your gas starts burning, you're gonna feel hot air coming out of this. That's how I know that my heater has fired up. You can also tell from the sound. The blower will get louder and it'll sound like it's cooking. Okay, and we're gonna go over to the pool. Pool's got 2 different heaters on it. It's a little bigger than our lazy river, plus it's got a spa. So it's got 2 that should kick on when we turn the heat on. So they've got it set to 75. The water is actually at about 79 right now. So I basically just turn the target temperature up to 85 just so it fires the heaters. And then I'll turn that back down to that 75 the customer wanted it at. Okay, blower started on that one. Blower started on that one. I do always like to just look at the control panel on the heaters as well. If you have any error codes or anything like that, that's where those will pop up. So if your heater's not firing or it's not working like it's supposed to, that's the first thing I'm gonna check, is looking at those heaters. Okay, that one's good. That one's good, so we'll turn those back off. There is one other thing on the Hayward systems, is they do have the alarms, if you have a code or anything in your alarms that need to be cleared. That you'll want to check for like a pH overfeed. Salt cell is low, your ORP might be low. It'll all pop up on that brain, and that's kind of a diagnostic to kind of tell me, okay, what do I need to look at? The salt cell's not working, this is why. And I'll do the same thing over here on the lazy river. Now I'm gonna just check my barrels. Basically gonna kind of lift it, see what we got. These are actually really full. This one's actually been going through some acid because, again, you know, they put a lot of people in here. It's a, you know, big family, big backyard. They do a lot of swimming, so we actually go through the acid fairly quickly. It feels pretty good. It's about 3/4 full today, so I'm not gonna fill any acid on the lazy river. Our pool's a little bit low, so I will add just a little bit of acid to this. Here I've got just some Champion muriatic acid. Gonna be very, very careful not to spill this on concrete. Very corrosive, it will eat a hole right through your concrete. And with my chemical systems, I do 1 to 1. So we're gonna do 1 gallon of muriatic acid, 1 gallon of water. So I'm just gonna go grab some water from the pool. Ooh, that water does not feel like it's 75. 1 gallon of water. This one wasn't that low. I just wanted to make sure we got it full to the top. So last thing I'm gonna do is check my chlorine towers. Always make sure I've got my valve closed here. If I don't, the pump will basically force the water out of the tower here. So got a nice wrench here. These things come in really handy because these things can be kind of hard to get open. So I'm just gonna have Jesse kill the pump just so we're not leaking water out of here. Then I'm basically just gonna fill this up with some chlorine tabs all the way to the top. Have Jesse go ahead and fire the pump back up for me. Let's use this, just snug it down, doesn't need to be that tight. Then I'm gonna open this up to max so it fills. Gonna verify we're not leaking anywhere. And then after about a minute or so, it's usually about how long these will take, maybe even less most of the time, but I give it about a minute to basically fill the tower with water. And then I'm gonna adjust this back down to about 3.5 to 4 for this one. Then I'm gonna go do the same thing on the lazy river over here. I'm gonna turn the pump off this time. Same thing, like I said, these wrench, I bought this on Amazon. These things are awesome. These chlorine towers can really be hard to get open sometimes. Okay, and of course I got one left in my bucket here. Bring my bucket back over. I'm always gonna be careful not to get my foot caught on these tubes. They do break very easily. Again, before I start my pump, I'm gonna max this one out as well so it fills up. Take it out of service mode. Make sure there's no air in my filter housings here. And that's basically the equipment area, checking all of my chemicals and things like that. I just like to do that first so it's out of the way. And then I'm gonna go back here and do my cleaning. Being a big pool, huge as you can see back here, an oasis. I usually bring Jesse along with me to kind of help me out. He'll usually do the pool and then I'll take care of the lazy river. So what he's doing right now is basically just brushing our ledges, our stairs, kind of getting all that dirt and everything off of the ledges. This pool has a vacuum, so basically kind of once we get all that dirt down there, that vacuum is going to pick all that dirt up. So we actually don't, unless we get a really bad windstorm where it blows a lot of dirt in, we usually don't vacuum the pool because these crawler vacuums do a great job. So Jesse's basically he's gonna brush all the ledges, make sure everything kind of gets brushed down to the bottom so the vacuum can pick it up. Then he's gonna net anything on the surface, and we're basically gonna be done with the pool. Same thing with the spa. So the spa is actually connected to the pool. When it's in pool mode, the spa will kind of return into the pool. So Jesse's also gonna basically just kind of brush that out, make sure that there's no dirt or anything in there. A lot of the times you can just kind of push your dirt into the main drains and you don't have to vacuum the spot. Again, we do have some days where it's really windy here in St. George, and this, you know, they've got a big BMX bike track back here, and that dirt will blow right into the pool. And then at that point, we do actually take a little more time to vacuum everything. It looks great today. The weather's been beautiful lately, so we basically gonna brush it out and net it out, and we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna start on my lazy river here. Basically, I'm just gonna kind of go around the edge and just brush it. Get my tiles real good. I was wondering, because I saw it over there on the corner, I was like, is that something in the pool? Might have to get in the pool here, Jesse. You got a brush? Let's see if we can pick this up with our poles here. We did have a little bit of wind. It looks like it blew a little one of their loungers in here. There it is. So we do have an app called Pool Brain. It's actually on Jesse's phone that basically just gives us a checklist of everything we should be doing. Skimming, vacuuming, brushing, checking our chemicals, checking our equipment. And we basically check that off as we do it. Once we finish that job and we close it out, it sends an email to the customer. That customer sees what it looked like before and what it looked like afterwards. If you're in pool maintenance, that Pool Brain app is awesome. It helps me keep track of what chemicals I've put in it in the past. It basically kind of tells you, you put your gallons and everything in there, it tells you how much of everything you need to add in there once you kind of put your chemicals that you've dipped into the pool. I highly recommend Pool Brain as an app to use for anybody doing pool maintenance. The nice thing about a lazy river is, for the most part, your dirt is only gonna find 4 or 5 places to settle. So when I do my vacuuming, I'm gonna get real good where those spots where the dirt settles, mostly in the corners, on a lot of the ledges and the little inlets for the stairs and stuff. That's where your dirt's mostly gonna find its way. Basically kind of brush that out, and then we'll vacuum that dirt off. So right now I'm basically, for this ledge, this is where a lot of my dirt ends up trapped. I'm gonna basically just kind of brush my tiles a little bit, my ledge loungers off here, and then I'm just gonna vacuum all this dirt here. I'm not gonna try to push it into the lazy river. All right, so as you can see with our Shamu shelf here, this is where most of your dirt collects. If I was to kind of brush this and brush it towards the lazy river, all that's gonna do is just stir all my dirt up, and then I'm gonna vacuum, and then it's all gonna settle and it's gonna look like I didn't do anything. I usually just brush the tiles on this Shamu shelf, and then I'm just gonna run a vacuum over the top of the Shamu shelf. Most of the time on our pools, we do use like the roller vacuums. For this lazy river, I like to use the one that's got a little bit of brush on the bottom. We do get some dirt settling in here, and that brush kind of helps it kind of get it out of the plaster. This one does have just a little bit of staining from just the red dirt. The more I can get kind of brush on this thing, the better. When I first actually started doing pool maintenance, I used to just take the end of the hose and just kind of go halfway into the skimmer and kind of let it suck the water through. And I had a guy that had been doing pool maintenance for a long time. He came up to me and he goes, "What the heck are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to prime the hose." He goes, "Well, watch this." He showed me how to prime my hose without using the pump. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push my hose under the water. And that's basically gonna push water into my hose, as long as it kind of stays underwater over here, and push the air out of that side. Much better for my pumps. My pumps aren't trying to suck air or do anything crazy like that. And this will kind of get me primed up. I'll put this in my skimmer here. Okay. So this lazy river, because it's a big body of water, it has multiple skimmers. So I've got 4 skimmers total in this one. If I try to vacuum with all of those skimmers open, I'm not gonna get any suction, because basically it's pulling through all these skimmers. So I've just got these plastic bottles here, and I'm gonna plug off the skimmer so that the only skimmer that's gonna be sucking is the one that my hose is connected to. It's always, with our pools anyway, the back hole that I'm looking to plug off. After I've plugged all my skimmers off, I do like to come back here. I want as much suction as I can get without sticking my vacuum to the bottom. My suction side has a main drain and a skimmer valve. If I pinch off my main drain a little bit, about 3/4 of the way or so, that's gonna give me more suction out of my skimmer, so that I've got basically 90% of my suction is going to that one skimmer. As long as your pump kind of stays primed, it doesn't start making noise, you don't lose water in there, your pump will be fine. But this is a great way to get more suction, whether you have 4 skimmers and a main drain, whether you have 1 skimmer and a main drain. If you just pinch your main drain off, you're gonna get a lot more suction out of that skimmer. You can see Jesse's kind of working on our skimmer baskets over there while I'm vacuuming. This job for one of us is probably about 2 hours and 15 minutes. When we kind of knock it out together, we can usually get it done in about an hour. So as I'm going here, you can actually see where I've vacuumed. So you can kind of see the dirt over here on the left side of my vacuum, and then my right side over here where I've already gone over with the vacuum is pretty blue. We were actually fighting some staining on this one for a while, and it's actually coming up really good. This pool here has the neat bio design. It's actually the first pool in southern Utah here that had this installed. Kind of makes your entryways to your pool look like a sandy beach. It's super cool. Just like a beach almost. A lot of the debris and stuff like that will kind of push up onto the beach here. About once a month, we'll bring out our shop back here and just kind of vacuum up just a little bit of that debris and leaves and dirt, just kind of keep that bio design clean. This is something that we do at every pool. It's not just because this is a pool, is $1 million pool. We do this for every one of our customers, big, small, it doesn't matter. We're gonna give the best service we can every time, skimming, vacuuming, cleaning the pump baskets, checking all of our equipment back there for leaks, making sure that the chemicals are dialed in. I didn't add anything to this pool because the chemical systems back there have it perfect. The chlorine's perfect, the pH is perfect. It's got cyanuric acid in it, the alkalinity's dialed in. If I did add anything to the pool, it would, if it was some cyanuric acid, I'm gonna put that in my skimmer baskets. If it is chlorine or muriatic acid for the pH, I'm just gonna kind of dump that in the deep side of the pool. So that's a wrap here. Beautiful pool back here, beautiful day. Thank you everyone for joining us at this incredibly beautiful pool back here. Any questions or comments, leave those below for us. Catch us on the next video.